Uvalde Radio rocks. Of course, we're all excited about the big show, Margarita Pour-Off, at the Espee in San Antonio, Saturday, April 27th. It's Great White, Quiet Riot, Slaughter, and Liliac. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's what it says here. But we're really excited because right now, on the phone from Great White, it's Michael Lardie. How you doing?
Good morning, you guys. How you doing?
Man, we're so excited to talk to you, man. It's so cool. I mean, you're like a rock legend, and we appreciate you carving out some time to get us pumped up, primed up for our a big show in San Antonio.
Well, we're always grateful that our fans have been with us for so many years, and everyone at radio has always been so supportive and allows us to still have a career 40 years later.
Well, man, you guys have been doing it a long time and doing it well. Now, Michael, where are you checking in from right now? Were you on the road, or are you safe and sound at home?
I'm checking in from Las Vegas.
Oh, cool. Very cool. So are you guys doing shows, or are you just, doing a little bit of you time?
The rest of the month until we got some shows up in the North Midwest coming up, but got a couple of weeks of me time, so working on some new material for putting together a new record, because we love to do that, and it's time. It's been about 6 years,
yeah.
So we're ready to go with that, and we just did a show at the Tulsa Hard Rock Live on Friday of last week, and we just keep popping them out. We've been really lucky to have such a really busy first quarter of the year, and it's been great. I mean, usually that's our quiet time, January, February, March, but this year it's been quite busy already, so we are grateful.
Now you mentioned hard rock. Now, anybody that's about our age probably, remembers Hard Rock Cafe and the shows. Feels like the Hard Rock's changed over the years a bit. Give me like an A/B comparison to like Hard Rock experiences, because now it's hotels and casinos, and you know what I mean. But there was a day when like Hard Rock Cafe was in the music videos, and it was kind of like a rock and roll kind of, a little thing. And I don't know, it feels kind of different, way more, I guess, corporate now, but I guess that's good in business.
Well, what happens is many of these casinos are, bought out by, bigger properties, and they're kind of going, to each side of like, okay, this guy that owns, these 12 casinos buys the Hard Rock. Back in the day, we were lucky enough to do an acoustic at the original Hard Rock in London. That
Wow.
was pretty cool. Back in 1991, we had a blast doing that, and we've done a show or two, I think, in Oslo, Norway, at their Hard Rock. It is a little bit different with the corporate money behind it, but when it comes to showtime and you're doing your thing, that still feels the same.
That's fantastic, man. Well, you mentioned it. You already brought it up because that was going to be one of my questions was new music. It's been 6-7 years. You got a relatively new singer with Brett, and he's like about half y'all's age, if not even, less. So what's that been like, working with a guy that's, is he keeping you on your toes? Is he breathing new life into the band? And what's that material going to be like, with the new singer?
Well, I think he gets what we're trying to do, and it's been, a godsend to have, someone with his youth, but at the same time, he has, what a lot of people would deem as, an older soul.
Mm-hmm.
His parents did a great job bringing him up on, 70s and 80s rock, so he's pretty well versed in that, and he comes from the South, so he's got a little bit of that blues and gospel edge to him.
Uh-huh.
So I'm really looking forward to it. In fact, before we were going on the other night, I was playing him a little bit of a thing that he and I are working on, and he's going, "Oh yeah, I got this idea." So he's really psyched about about working with us, and it's a joy to be on stage with him. He's turned into a great little performer, and when he's off stage, he's the most down to earth, righteous young man that I've come across in a while, and it's been a joy.
That's fantastic. He's got great chops. Seen some video, have not seen him live yet, but very much looking forward to it. It sounds like he can just kind of ace the entire catalog. So there probably aren't any Great White songs, I guess everything's fair game, right? With that range.
Oh yeah, with his energy and his vocal range, we can do pretty much anything. So, somebody throws out a tune, no matter how obscure it might be or how high it might be in terms of range. He's like, yeah, I can do that. Like one of the songs we are doing from the very, very first record is "Stick It," and he hits every one of those notes spot on every night. So it's awesome.
Fantastic. So tell me, I know you guys are in the very early stages of writing, according to other stuff I've read, that you guys are probably like individually demoing and whatnot. I'm sure there's going to be a process when you all come together, share the material and kind of riff off each other. As far as you know now, how is that material shaping up? What kind of direction do you guys feel like you're going to be taking?
It's hard to say. I would love, the album to be kind of an amalgam of, Twice Shy, Hooked, and Psycho City. I mean, that to me that would be, a great combination of things.
Well, whatever you guys got up your sleeves, we're totally excited about it. And again, getting back to the show, we're excited about your show, Great White, Saturday, April 27th, back in San Antonio, along with Quiet, Riot, and Slaughter. Let's go and talk about this lineup here. Is this like a mini tour, a leg? Is this just kind of a couple of one-off shows? Tell me about these shows with Quiet, Riot, and Slaughter.
Well, this particular one in this format is a one-off. I mean, we do the occasional larger version of it called the 80s Invasion, and it's sometimes it's Heresy, Solo, us, Slaughter, Quiet Riot, Vixen, and sometimes that changes around. Sometimes we headline some. We're doing one with Ace Frehley coming up in the summer, I think in August. So we're just kind of, the core of it is usually Great White, Slaughter, and Quiet Riot, and it's been a great package. Everybody gets on famously, and people definitely get an evening full of rock.
Obviously, we're talking. You guys are adult. Parents, probably grandparents at this point. I'm sure the rock and roll lifestyle isn't quite what it used to be, but paint us a picture of what that backstage environment is like with the other guys in the band, or do you guys pretty much just keep to yourselves?
No, we always get down to the show an hour before we go on stage and get the vibe of what we're doing, and we'll go over the background vocals real quick, and Brett will be in the bathroom doing his warm up, and we just like to hang out. I mean, because we like each other as people. And, the only difference, from the old days is there's just not alcohol, there's not drugs. But, in a way, it's great because, when people come to see us, they're getting the best, of us as performers. Not to say that we didn't do well back in the day, but, yeah, I mean, we just respect the fact that we still are able to do this, and we want to give people the best possible show we can.
Fantastic. Again, we got Michael Lardie on the phone from Great White. And Mike, now you have been in the band forever. I don't think you're an original member, but you may as well be. You're from the classic lineup. But I don't think a lot of people really realize, just what a big deal you are. I mean, you're pretty much like producer, engineer. You're a big part of the sound that comes out on these records of Great White. There's been a break when Great White wasn't doing things. I know you were producing and engineering. Let's go and talk about some of that stuff that you've done. Take a minute to brag on yourself. Give us an idea of some of the other projects you're working on and some of the stuff we should look for with Michael Lardie's name on it.
Well, one of the things I was really proud to work on was the show called Influences. Working with Jack and Tommy was, a great joy. I mean, Tommy is one of those guys that is probably the best singer I've ever worked with in the studio. He's so fast, and he's so humble and so chill, and they did some great 70s covers, that I grew up on, Simon and Garfunkel, Buffalo Springfield, just really cool stuff. That was a great experience, and the last thing I did of any note in late 2019 and 20, right before COVID hit, was I mixed a Sheryl Crow record live from a theater in New York, and I got to work with her music director, Peter Stroud, and that was a great experience. The thing about, the way you can do it now is you can mix everything and send everybody files, mm-hmm. and they say, I'd like a little more guitar right here, and, that vocal line should be a little lower, and you do that, and you send it back to them, and they approve it, and you just go on. But that was a great experience. I'm a great big fan of hers. As a singer and a writer, she is, one of the best out there and most prolific, and has had quite the career. And, so that was a great joy for me to work with as well.
I mean, Shaw Blades and Sheryl Crow, both big artists and very cool feathers in your cap. Is there any artist that you've worked with that's kind of more niche, a little bit more like somebody might go, wow, the guy from Great White, is working with this artist? Anybody that's kind of left a center for you?
Well, probably would have to go back into my history. One of the first clients I actually worked on a lot of records for him was SST Records. And that was the Seminole Punk label. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but, bands like Black Flag, the Meat Puppets, the Minutemen, Saccharine Trust, X. I mean, back in the day, I worked on all those records, and a lot of people would be really surprised going, you sound like this. How did that work out? And I learned a great lesson with working with those bands. They want to get it down fast, and they want to get it down raw and real. And it made me be one of those kinds of producer engineers that makes quick decisions, instead of laboring over a snare drum for an hour and a half. It taught me to what is in your gut. If it feels right, try that first, instead of, thinking about it. You have time to think about it after the fact, and you can always go back to what your original idea was if that turns out to be the best.
I mean, what a fantastic dynamic of, the rawness and, like you said, the liveness of punk, and then, the polish and the precision of like Night Ranger. It's just a really great like I said, dynamic of recording. Again, it's Michael Lardie on the phone from Great White. The show is on Saturday, April 27th. The Margarita Pour-Off at the Espee in San Antonio. It's Great White, Quiet Riot, and Slaughter. Now, Michael, you're a multi-instrumentalist. Let's go in a little segment here for the gearheads. What guitars you playing? What keyboards you playing? Give us a little gear update on for the musicians. Kind of indulge them.
As far as live, I play a Telecaster that I call my Frankenstein. I built it from a baritone body, a 50 C-neck, a Seymour Duncan hot rail, and replaced the electronics and pots and stuff with something that's more in tune with a humbucker pickup. But at home, I'm all over the map. I've got a couple of Les Paul customs from the 70s. I use Guild acoustics. I've just got a Guild, Starfire that looks like a 335. It sounds amazing. Play a Fender bass at home. Most of my keyboards are Korg because I love the sound and it's very intuitive for the programming. My recording rig is a Pro Tools. I use an SSL control surface. Microphones all over the map. One of my favorite vocal mics of late is the Peluso Baby Bottle, which reminds me of the Sony C800. So that's kind of like a mixture of what I get into. I've got sitars and mandolins and banjos. So I can't decide when I want to be when I grow up. So I keep them all around.
Now, speaking of growing up, you've worked with a whole bunch of legends. You're a legend in your own right. You still have a bucket list, any wish list of musicians you'd like to work with, or maybe venues, things you'd like to accomplish as a musician before it's all over and done with?
Well, I would like to work on some movies, doing soundtrack stuff. I'm looking into figuring out how to get connected with that kind of stuff. Because obviously, when you come up with something during the day, and I try not to limit it to I want to write a song for Great White. I just write. So not everything that comes out of you will be completely appropriate for the band that you play with. So I'm looking forward to connecting with that world. Gosh, as far as artists, working with Cheryl was a great treat. Maybe someday more with her, and just keep my eye out for up and comers. It's one of those things where sometimes they fall in your lap. Sometimes you got to go out and look for it. So I'll try to be open to
now speaking
that comes my way.
Now, speaking of up-and-comers, I know that as I get older, it gets a little harder for me to get into newer artists, especially, when they're 20 years younger than me or doing a sound that, isn't, traditionally what I've been into. But do you find yourself, are there any new artists, new acts that you find yourself really into these days? Or give them a shout-out if so.
I don't know if they're particularly new. I was really digging on listening to this band called I-9. They're out of South Carolina. They're kind of like they kind of have like a mixture of kind of a Nashville sound with American roots kind of thing. I think they've been around about 10 years, but they did a great Nancy Wilson and Cameron Crowe song for the movie Elizabethtown. And that's a song that Great White could have done. So I definitely dig sounds like that. Blackberry Smoke's a great band. It's just a lot of it's different so much because when I signed, the record company got really behind them and they got a big promotion machine. And now it's so much more independent, and so there's so many more artists to kind of be aware of.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more challenging.
Absolutely. Again, Michael Lardie on the phone. The Big Great White Show is Saturday, April 27th at the Espee in San Antonio. Do not miss it. Get information and tickets at theespee.com. That's TheEspee.com. And again, Michael, thank you so much for checking in. Final question, man, because I know you got a lot of stuff to get to, but just give us a little bit of an idea. You already touched on it when we talked about Brett earlier, but give us an idea of what to expect when Great White comes back to San Antonio and rocks.
Well, it's been a minute since we've been there, and so we're really looking forward to as far as the material and the set, it's a good cross-section of going back to, like I said, the first record and all the way up through the last one with Full Circle. So, we play all the ones that, everybody definitely wants to hear. The Rock Me's, The Once Bitten Twice Shy, The House of Broken Love, The Mr. Bones, and it's a smattering of a lot of stuff, through the discography. And we're looking forward to, finishing a new record, so we have some new stuff to put in set.
We cannot wait to hear the new stuff, but for now, we will settle for the hits. Absolutely. Actually, final question. You're coming to San Antonio. Been a while. What do you do when you're in Southwest Texas? Any tourist traps you got to get to? What do you find yourself doing when you're in Texas, specifically San Antonio area?
Well, who can go to San Antonio without doing the Riverwalk? Man?
That's right. Are you guys fans of the Tex-Mex, the Mexican cuisine? Do you guys try to find that when you get down here?
Oh, yeah. Our drummer, Audie Desbro, is the Mexican food king of all time. In fact, we think inside him he has a Mexican restaurant, beeper inside of him. We can roll into a town and he goes, "There's one." Like he just knows. But authentic Tex-Mex I totally love. So I'm really looking forward to some of that on the day.
Okay. Awesome, man. And finally, I know a lot of the bands these days are offering, backstage meet and greet experiences. Does Great White have anything like that we can check out on the website or anything?
We did have that before the whole COVID debacle, and Audie and I were just sitting around talking the other day with Mark about restarting those. So perhaps I'll have to nudge them a little bit and say, "Come on, let's get that going." We have two levels. We have one where, you can be on the side of the stage, and the other one you can be on the side of the stage and, come and spend, 15, 20 minutes in the dressing room with us, just hanging out.
Awesome, man. Well, if there's any of those packages, be sure and find those online. All right, once again, it's Michael Lardie, Great White. The show is Saturday, April 27th. Margarita Pour-Off in San Antonio, along with Quiet Riot and Slaughter. Michael, thanks so much for your time, man. We really appreciate you, like I said, carving out a few minutes and just getting us all excited about the Great White return to San Antonio. God bless you guys. Appreciate you, man.
Well, thank you, Robert, for the interest. And, it's been radio that's supported this band for such a long time, and we're very appreciative. And to all the fans in San Antonio, can't wait to see you. So get down to the margarita thing.
Absolutely. Right on, let's go and do it. Mr. Bone is Great White. It's Uvalde Radio Rocks. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Dude.